Hello and welcome. UVA Speaks is a podcast of Lifetime Learning, a division of the Office of Engagement at the University of Virginia. Lifetime Learning brings the knowledge and expertise of UVA's faculty to the university's alumni, friends, and families. My name is Susan Lynch, and I am the Associate Director of Lifetime Learning at the University of Virginia's Office of Engagement. This podcast features David Corlett, Assistant Professor and Senior Program Director of Undergraduate Degrees at the School of Continuing Professional Studies at the University of Virginia. Corlett is an historian whose research and teaching interests focus on the Atlantic world, comparative colonialism, and early New England. Before joining UVA full-time, he taught with the Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies program at UVA since 2005, served as an assistant teaching professor at Arizona State University, and the Interim Director of the National Institute of American History and Democracy at the College of William and Mary. In this podcast, Professor Corlett will talk with us about the degree completion programs at the School of Continuing Professional Studies here at UVA. So thank you, Professor, for speaking with me today.
Oh, thank you, Susan. It's a real pleasure to be here.
So first, can you describe the two different degree completion programs at the School of Continuing Professional Studies? It's the Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies and the Bachelor of Professional Studies in Health Science Management.
Sure. Both of those are a bit of a mouthful, and so we tend to go by acronyms. The Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies is the BIS degree in shorthand, and the even more tongue-tying Bachelor of Professional Studies in Health Science Management, we call the BPHM degree. So if you hear those acronyms around the university, sometimes people aren't familiar with them, so I'm happy to talk about them. Well, the Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies degree, BIS, has been around since 1999, and it was designed specifically for adults who are seeking a flexible program that allowed them to complete their undergraduate work while balancing work and family commitments. And so it's rooted, like most degrees at the university, in the liberal arts tradition. And it offers a very broad interdisciplinary education that prepares students to advance in their current jobs, transition to a new career, or go on to graduate studies. And so they enter the program with up to 60 transfer credits, which means that they're completing more or less their third and fourth year at the university. And our students can pick from 11 different concentrations, and these range from a broad liberal arts, to history and politics, to business, information technology, healthcare management, cybersecurity. There are more. I'll stop there. And they gain a deep insight into their particular field through concentration classes, just like any major would. And then they enjoy multiple elective requirements that represent most disciplines within the College of Arts and Sciences, as well as many in the business school. They complete core courses in writing, research, and analytical methods. And then they do have to finish a 2-semester capstone process, so the equivalent of a senior thesis. Now, in many ways, parallel to this is our newer Bachelor of Professional Studies in Health Sciences Management, so BPHM from now on. And this, too, is designed for working individuals, but tailored more for those who are looking to advance into leadership roles in healthcare settings. And so the program serves students with a wide array of backgrounds. So those who may come from working in the medical field and have what we call an allied healthcare associate's degree. So someone maybe in EMS or medical lab tech, occupational therapy, things of that nature. But also people seeking to simply move into medical administration, so career changers. And these people actually share a lot of coursework with the healthcare management concentrators in our BIS program. So we are very connected here. The curriculum in this program is more defined than it is within BIS. So the core requirements focus on the competencies you would expect for success in healthcare. So that means communication skills, relationship and management skills, professionalism, knowledge of healthcare and business skills, healthcare systems, business and leadership principles, et cetera. Again, very wide ranging, but focused within the medical field. They too take a lot of electives, but many of those electives actually come from our BIS degree. So they could take classes in business and management, psychology, but also in history and politics and writing as well. So they can all contribute. And they too finish with a 2 semester capstone where they have to dig deeply into some issue in healthcare management. And then they present their findings both in writing and also in a presentation to their peers, faculty, and alums. So we have shared elements and experiences between both of these programs. I won't say that we have two distinct student bodies. They do cross over, but we do have differences in order to meet the needs of a broad student population.
Great, thank you. And these are in person and online, or mainly online programs?
We are primarily an online program now, and we did that pre-COVID. We made the shift back in 2017, but we started as regional in-person cohorts again in 1999 in Charlottesville, and then expanded to cohorts down in Tidewater, down on the Virginia Peninsula, Richmond, Northern Virginia, and then we kind of contracted back in order to offer a greater breadth of classes to everybody and also broaden our reach to students.
Great, thank you. So how have the degree completion programs expanded the reach of UVA, and what are the populations that you are serving that on-grounds programs do not?
Okay. So we already got to one of the major points about who we reach, and that is with our online component. So the university's primary focus, as in its mission statement, is about the on-grounds immersive experience for students. And that experience is unparalleled. We know that. Uh, but expansion of that experience is somewhat limited based on physical facilities. And so the university has that focus. And the primary area of expansion is in the virtual world, where we're constrained by our systems, by our access, and by our imaginations more than anything. So that's one way that we're reaching new populations. The original mission of the BIS program in particular, and then BPHM joining it 2 decades later, was to reach students who had most often some college but no degree, or maybe an associate's degree and no 4-year degree. And that's something that comes up a lot in the university's 2030 plan. You'll see that as one of the primary points of reaching these individuals and helping them get something for their efforts, get them a degree out of this. So our students, in many ways, they're like normal transfer students coming to grounds. They come in that fashion, and like all university students, they're adults, so they're no different there. But here's a key difference: that we take the definition of adult to its full meaning, and so our student population ranges in age from their early 20s to their late 70s, and everything in between. Our average age is roughly 35 thereabouts. And if we want to use an outdated term these days, we are serving non-traditional students. So if a student can't come to campus, they don't have the time, or geographically it's not feasible for them to come to grounds for classes, we offer those opportunities. So again, with other schools at the university, we are part of that online arm of the University of Virginia. So that move online in 2017 was purposeful. So we had our original cohorts, which worked fairly well, but since then our numbers have grown. We offer more courses. We are reaching more students, and we're no longer just focused on the state. We have students from across the country. We have American students who are abroad. So we oftentimes serve students who are on military deployments, spouses and family of, say, diplomats. We just graduated a student who was the wife of a diplomat in the Middle East. And we have international students. So a student in one of my classes right now who attends live online classes with us. He's in Malaysia. So imagine trying to juggle that time difference. So we reach students who can't come to grounds to get the same excellent education. And then we do have some other target populations that we'll say right now that we are working with. So different groups, organizations, sectors of the economy where employers say we need or want our people to get a 4-year degree. How can we do that while they still work for us? And that's allowing us to branch out into new sectors as well.
Great. Yeah, it's really important to expand the reach. So that's great to see. So BIS is at its core a liberal arts degree with concentrations, as you mentioned. So what is the value of such a degree, and how do your professional concentrations benefit from a liberal arts focus?
I feel like I answer this question every day, and I bet a lot of people across the university do as well. Where we defend the value of higher education to begin with, and then they'll say, "Well, what's the value of a liberal arts degree when we should be training someone specifically for a particular job?" And oftentimes that's what new programs have to do. They have to demonstrate exactly what employment outcomes result from this degree. I don't disagree with that. But higher education is more than that. And in this day and age where the focus is on this one-to-one relationship, I would say that a broader approach in many ways has a greater place. So, as industries are becoming more competitive and they're demanding skilled professionals, you need the individuals who have had specific classes in, say, our cloud computing or information technology degrees, so or concentrations. So those have their place. Um, but those skills change over time and they become dated over time. And so here's where a liberal arts foundation is really critical, that we teach and reinforce timeless skills that have been the hallmark of liberal education, of higher education since its inception. So we're talking centuries, millennia. These skills are what have been taught in higher education. So critical thinking, ethics, written and oral communication, cultural awareness. So a liberal arts degree, whether it's the liberal arts general studies components on grounds or the broader focus of our degrees, it helps shape a student's mindset more than anything. So it introduces them to new people, to cultures, to places. It opens the world to these individuals and it prepares them to be more engaged and more willing to converse with people that are different than themselves. And I would argue it makes them more flexible and more productive in their communities, whether a public one or a private one. So what we're really doing, especially in these professional concentrations, as we call them, we're combining these two different skill sets. And in the end, that makes these students more resilient and adaptable, but also compassionate as they're navigating this landscape, this jobs landscape that keeps changing. These jobs that we can't imagine that are coming down the pipeline. We can't teach those skills yet, but we can teach the foundational ones that will help them adapt and get there. So, there are all sorts of studies out there that talk about, how AI, automation, the gig economy, all of these are changing our landscape and saying that 40% of our current jobs aren't going to exist and new jobs are coming that we can't even imagine, and that's going to disrupt the workforce. Well, these core foundational skills are going to help carry students into those new positions and again make them adaptable and flexible to this new world. So there is always value for a liberal arts degree. You can learn other skills. You'll learn a lot along the way. You'll also learn more in the future. We're helping build that foundation.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think I use my liberal arts education every day in my work and in my personal life. It's been very valuable for me personally. So I understand. Can you describe the impact of the degree completion programs?
We can talk about this from two different perspectives. And frankly, where our last question is one I feel like I have to do on a daily basis. This is a question that I love to answer and talk about. So I've taught at three different universities with distinct student populations, and I will say that the students that I've had in the BIS program for the past almost 20 years are my favorite students. And it's not just because of them being adults and engaging with us in new ways, but we're able to see the impact of these degrees almost immediately. Uh, Before I jump into that, though, I'll say that this is something that keeps our faculty around. So our faculty, our program has been around since 1999, and we have at least half of our faculty who have been around teaching with us for, I will say, 15 plus years. We have a number who have been teaching with, and these are adjuncts for the most part, since it started in 1999. And as you mentioned, I've been teaching with it since 2005. And we do it because of the students and the impact we see that the program has on them. So, a college degree is going to be transformational for anyone. But again, we tend to see that impact immediately. So the application of knowledge to our students' current workplaces, they'll apply that and they'll come back and talk about it in class. We see it in the promotions or the new positions that they achieve after earning a degree. As an example, a graduate from this last year had been advancing up the ranks of the Coast Guard and had reached a plateau because he didn't have a bachelor's degree. Once he started the degree, he began to advance again. Once he completed it, he was able to achieve promotion. So it's there. It's evident. We have students who are able to uh, successfully applied to graduate and professional schools. So we have an alum who's graduated from a Harvard graduate program. We have others who are currently across the country, Alabama, William and Mary. We have several at University of Virginia right now. We have students who are in the PhD programs, and we have graduates and current students in law school. So they are going places. And it's important to remember that these changes, these impacts are happening for the most part later in life than a student coming out of the university at, say, 22 to 25. These are having impact not just on the individual, but on their families as well. And then finally, and this is one of my favorites, where students really just have that sense of satisfaction and accomplishment when they finish a degree. Sometimes this has been a life goal of theirs that they've had to put on hold for years, and we help them achieve that. One of my favorites was a student I had down in Tidewater somewhere around 2010, and she had started in college when she was young. She left when she was 19 to get married. She had a family and a career. And when she left the university, she had to promise her parents that she would finish her degree. And she did just 50 years later. So when you have a student who it's a bucket list thing and they're doing it just for personal satisfaction, I love to see that as well. And then to see their multi-generational families come with them to our different celebrations. So that's like one area of our impact I can talk about. Another is with a current initiative, and we are working with a variety of public safety organizations right now in the Atlantic region of the U.S. and looking to expand beyond that. So you may be aware that the school has a new center, the Center for Public Safety and Justice, that underneath it is providing a variety of programs, research, and we also have our Master of Public Safety program and associated programs. And the goal behind all of these has been to help change the face of American policing, to broadly educate the policing force, talk about policies openly, professionalize it even more than it currently is. So we are tying into that within the BIS program right now. So just over a year ago, we had a conversation with the chief and chief of staff of the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Force, and they wanted to offer an opportunity for their officers to achieve or earn their bachelor's degree. And so we started the program after it was a very quick turnaround, I will say, of about 2 months. And we started the program January last year, and we have a cohort of 23 students who are just completing their first year of the program. They are halfway through it, and a year from now, they'll graduate from the university. And so these students are taking classes in history, in politics, psychology, sociology, ethics, organizational leadership, organizational assessment and change. I mean, a little bit of everything. And the idea behind this is these officers are going to be much better equipped to understand the very populations that they work with and police. They'll have a better understanding of the roots of the issues that they encounter. So Washington, D.C. has a lot of problems, And a lot of those problems are rooted in past policy and historical decisions and trends. So now they're learning that it's not just a current thing, it's not this individual, this is part of a broader trend. And so it's also helping them understand the responses of the people that they encounter as well. So we are helping to create better educated officers, help them make better decisions, and again help transform American policing. So we're only a year into it. It's hard to assess that impact right now, but these officers are already proposing changes and evaluating programs within their department, and we will see that change. We will see that transformation.
That's a wonderful program. I'm really glad to hear about that. That's great. And that's a real substantial cohort. So that's wonderful. Big change for that. As a former resident of Washington, D.C., that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And finally, you just spoke about this new initiative, but are there other new program initiatives in the works that will expand the reach and academic scope of both of your BIS and BPHM programs?
Well, we can start with a brief continuation of the last with the Washington Metro Police Department, and then we're looking to establish a variety of other cohorts with other public safety entities, first responder groups, government employees at all levels, from local to state and up to the federal level, and create these kind of combined cohorts. And we plan to do that actually online. So the MPD program is a throwback. We are doing that in person up in Northern Virginia. So our faculty are commuting up there for these very, very long day programs with these students. And while it's been great to teach in the classroom again, it's not as sustainable, or we certainly can't expand it in the same way. So as we look to create these new cohorts, we're going to be moving the program back online, and then hopefully we can draw on connections throughout the United States. So our faculty with the MPS program, Master of Public Safety, come from across the United States in a variety of policing forces, both retired and active. And our faculty there also participate in national conferences on public safety, and they're spreading the word as well. So we anticipate that this is going to become a major arm of our program. So that's one element. We are also exploring connections with other unserved or underserved populations in our state. So, as an example, right now in the state of Virginia, there are no four-year degree programs offered for imprisoned people. There are associate's degrees in many institutions, but as of yet, there is no four-year degree. Clearly, studies show that there is a connection, there's an impact of education on recidivism rates. And so we're hoping or exploring stepping into that role as well. So that's part of our mission, transformational mission. We're also looking at just making our program better and offering more. As an example, we have a graduate certificate in our school in project management. We need to offer similar classes in project management at the undergraduate level, whether as electives or as a concentration, because the set of skills in project management are applicable across any field or any industry. It doesn't matter. Those are transferable. So that's a great way to expand and offer our students more. We are primarily a live synchronous program as well. That's one of our hallmarks. We are high touch, and our students love that. But there are many students whose schedules are even more chaotic, and so they may not have a 3 hour stretch one evening a week or daytime hours, and they need more asynchronous ways to achieve their degree. So we're exploring those pathways as well. And finally, we have one other initiative within our school called Enlighten. So this is tied to our degrees, but not formally part of them. The Enlighten initiative has been a combined effort with the UVA health side of the university, where we're offering a series of courses for employees who have little or no college credit right now. And we're offering them credits. They'll be able to earn up to 36 credits through this series of classes. And most of these are focused on professional skills that will immediately enhance their job performance. So again, like BIS, critical thinking, communication, data literacy, things of that, but also skills that are applicable to healthcare, such as biomedical ethics, medical sociology, topics such as that. And when students, and these are primarily employees of the university on both sides of the university, once they complete these 36 credits, they'll be positioned, if they choose, to transfer into our BPHM program, which makes a lot of sense as medical folks, or into BIS as well to finish their 4-year degree. So in all of these initiatives that we have, our goal is really to meet eligible students where they're at in terms of academic experience or credit, but we're also trying to meet them where they are geographically and socially and provide them the opportunity to get an excellent education at the university. And I know there are a lot of other opportunities that will arise that we just haven't imagined yet.
That's wonderful. So thank you so much, Professor, for sharing this information about the School of Continuing Professional Studies and these degree completion programs. These are very important programs, and I think especially important for a public institution like UVA to provide as many pathways to degree programs as possible. So I want to thank you again for sharing your knowledge and expertise with UVA's alumni, friends, and families.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate the opportunity.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for listening. For upcoming podcasts and other lifetime learning programming, recordings, and blogs, please visit our website at engagement.virginia.edu/learn. You'll also find our podcasts on the Virginia Audio Collective, which is a network of UVA podcasts hosted by WTJU Radio and can be found at virginiaaudio.org. So thanks again, and we look forward to you taking part in future lifetime learning programs.